Welcome back to Conference USA Media Day, and we turn our attention now to Florida International. And joining us, the head coach, Butch Davis. Butch, good to see you again, my friend.
Well, it's great to be with you, Ron. It's good to get ready to start, 2021 football season.
I'll tell you, I'm glad we're having a season. Last year, you were only able to play 5 games. There were weeks at a time you were not even able to practice. You had players come down with COVID. But on the positive side of that, you had 10 players that could have graduated that decided to come back and play this season. How special was that for you?
Yeah, you know what, Ron, obviously last year was extraordinarily difficult for everybody. There was periods of time where we lost the entire offensive coaching staff. We had a period when we lost the entire defensive coaching staff. We had 47 players that were in isolation and quarantine for over 30 days. So it was a challenging system, and obviously, and as you just recommended and you just talked about, we had 10 seniors that did graduate. Okay, all of our the 18 seniors that we had last year, every single one of them got their diploma, but 10 of them chose to come back. And you absolutely, as a head football coach, you have to just love them, the passion that they have, and that they want to make sure that their last year ends on a super positive note. And so we're very, very happy to have those 10 guys back, because not only are they good football players, they're great leaders, and they really set a great example on the practice field. They do it in the locker room, so we're really excited about having them back.
Well, let's talk offense first, Coach, because you have a lot of talented, skilled players coming back. The question is, who's going to be getting them the football? You played 3 different starters last year in 5 games. Has that been decided yet?
No, it really truly hasn't as of yet. I mean, for the first time, because obviously this past spring, we actually had spring practice, which we didn't get the year before. And, Max Bortenschlager was one of the quarterbacks that played some of the games in 2020. Hayden Carlson played a little bit at that time. And those 2 guys really battled really hard during the spring. And we'll probably put that competition the first maybe 10 days to 2 weeks during training camp, and let them try to figure out, who's going to separate from the other. But as everybody knows, as a football coach, if you don't have 2 quarterbacks that can go in and help your team win, you're going to really have a tough time. And we learned that lesson a couple of years ago when James Morgan, who was our starting quarterback, we won 9 games, but he got injured and he got hurt, and our backup quarterback came in and won the bowl game for us. So you really got to have 2 quarterbacks ready to go. But we're excited about training camp to put those 2 guys in there and find out in scrimmages and all the different situational things that are going to happen in the game, who could be the guy that could be the leader.
Oh, one of the leaders as far as running the football has got to be Davonte Price. He had an outstanding season last year. What do you expect for him this year?
Yeah, well, the one thing that you just absolutely love about Davonte is as you just referenced, I mean, he had a great season last year with a young, inexperienced, and almost no depth in the offensive line. And I would say that he was probably on track to rush for somewhere between 1,200 yards to maybe 1,500 yards. And he was one of the guys that literally, I called the NFL and they said, he's going to get drafted last year. And he said, you know what, I want to come back. I want to help the team win, get back into bowl games and stuff. And so you love that leadership part of it, but you also just absolutely love the athleticism. When he came in as a true freshman, he started getting opportunities to make a little bit of some plays during his freshman year, and every year after that his role expanded and he's gotten better, and he is really truly, he's one of the most talented running backs that I've been fortunate enough to coach.
Well, let's talk about defense, because you have some talent coming back on defense. Last year, 4 members of the secondary were the leaders in total tackles. That's the good news. The bad news is you'd like to see a linebacker or a lineman get mixed up in that as far as total tackles are concerned. Are you not?
Yeah, well, and you just nailed it. I mean, one of the things, you don't want the secondary to be the leading tacklers. I mean, you want the linebackers, you want the defensive line, defensive ends to be the guys that are making the majority of the defensive, the tackles and stuff. Daniel Jackson, who's going to be on the show here just in a little bit, he's come in and he is really, truly, of all the football players maybe that I've coached, I don't know that I've had anybody that has improved throughout his entire career. When he came came in as a true freshman, he immediately made a gigantic impact into special teams. He played in all the phases. He became a captain of our special teams for 3 years. This past spring and last year, obviously with all the injuries that we had and stuff like that, he got more opportunities to play in games as a linebacker, and every single week he's gotten better and better, and he's a terrific leader, and so we're really happy to have him back this year.
You know, Brent, one of the things that really stood out last season's team is you didn't turn the ball over. You were fourth in the NCAA in not turning the ball over that ended a possession. It seems to me you're telling your guys, let's not beat ourselves. Let's let our talent come out, and let's not shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, well, it is. And obviously last year, I mean, it was a difficult challenge for our entire football program to play the games last year. But I absolutely, and I'll be honest with you, I have great respect for our football players for what they did every single week to give ourselves a chance to win, even though it didn't work out that way. But you just talked about turning the football over and not fumbling and not doing those things offensively. We sold ourselves on special teams. We said, look, if we're going to struggle at offense and defense, special teams, if they can do some great things, and we had 2 kickoff returns for over 100 yards for touchdowns. Our punter, Tommy Heatherly, finished 4th last year in the Ray Guy Award as the 4th best punter in the country. He is a phenomenal guy as far as the kicking takes place and stuff. And then obviously, you know, defensively, you know, doing things of not giving up explosive, big, gigantic plays and make it be a long way. So obviously, if we can stay healthy and we can get our players all back on practice and have a great training camp, we really feel optimistic about this season.
Well, the good news is we're going to have a season, and I have a feeling you'll play more than 5 games. Butch, thanks for being with us, and we wish you the best of luck this year.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ron. It's great to be with you, and really enjoy it. And I hope all the people across the country, hope they're excited about college football being back full-time. I know we are.
Let's take a look at the Panthers schedule for 2021. They begin things on September the 2nd against Long Island. The big non-conference games are back-to-back. That'll be on September the 18th. They go to Lubbock to take on Texas Tech and then travel to Central Michigan on the 24th. Joining us now is running back Davonte Price, the senior from Punta Gorda, Florida. 2020 honorable mention Conference USA, finished last season 2nd in the conference in rushing at over 116 yards a game. Plus, he set FIU records for yards per game and yards per carry. Davonte, good to have you with us today.
Thank you, my man. Great to be with you guys.
Big season last year, but you only played 5 games. How frustrating was it for you because you were obviously on a roll?
It was very frustrating. You know, going week by week, not knowing if we were going to actually have a game or not. But you know, we just had to focus up and focus in and practice every day and every week like we were going to have a game, no matter if we were going to play or not. You know what I mean? But it was obviously frustrating. But at the same time, we just had to keep going and do what we had to do.
Well, you're getting a new offensive coordinator this year, coming from Mississippi State, where he was passing game coordinator for Mike Leach. What tweaks in the offense, what changes in the offense has he made so far?
Changes he's made, you know, obviously open the playbook up more, you know, us being able to pass the ball more so we can, you know, open up the run game so teams can't stack the box on us and just focus on the run. The team's going to have to respect, you know, all aspects of the offense.
You know, Davonte, when you read about the offense for this team, a lot of people are writing that it's a work in progress and there's so much work to do. Do you think this is a work in progress, or do you think that this offense has a lot of potential, you're just waiting to play come game number 1?
No, I definitely feel like we're ready. We're going to come out there and come out fast and, you know, surprise everybody who thinks we're a work in progress. We're ready. Our O-line up front, they're ready. Quarterbacks, whoever's going to play, they're ready. Anybody who's going to step on that field is going to be ready, no matter who we go against. You know, we're all buying into Coach Briner and his offense. We're buying into everything. So I feel like I got confidence in the whole offense. I have confidence in our whole team.
Well, you know, you look back at your career, one of the highlights, 178 yards rushing versus your rival in Florida, FAU. What was that like to get 178 against somebody that you obviously do have this rivalry with?
It felt pretty good, you know, to do what I did against them, but ultimately we didn't come out with the win. So, you know, the stats, you know, they're pretty good, but, you know, if we didn't come out with the win, you know, it really wasn't much. But, you know, playing good against them, it felt pretty good.
Well, Davonte, we appreciate you spending some time with us. Good luck this season. Let's go over 116 again this year running the ball.
Most definitely. Thank you, my man. Great talking with you guys.
And manning one of those linebacker spots, the person you just saw in that video. We're talking with Daniel Jackson, the senior from Apex, North Carolina. Daniel, good to have you with us today.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
You know, we look at the defense and we break it down. You have a lot of starters returning and a lot of players that played a lot of football last season. How good can this defense be?
I mean, we're very confident in the experience we have coming back. It's a lot of guys, like you said, played a lot of snaps. So we're really comfortable playing around each other. The chemistry is good, and I feel like we gel together well as a unit. So I'm very confident in how good we can be.
Well, one of the things I think you probably worked on in the spring is last season you gave up a lot of big plays. Was that one of the focuses this spring on defense, is to stop those big plays from happening?
Oh, 100%, 100%. It really came down to the understanding of the schematics of the defense. Really, it wasn't a matter of talent or more execution and knowing where to be and when to be there. And I feel like that's what got us in trouble a lot. But I feel like a lot of guys have gotten in their playbooks, and those issues won't be as apparent as they were in the past.
And you've got to be one of the leaders of this football team because you've played a lot of football. Do you tell some of the younger players how important it is to watch tape, to get in your playbook, as you just mentioned, and to really find out the reason why things are happening and maybe even why they're not happening? Do you press some of these younger players?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Our coaches instill it in us as soon as you get here. If you don't know where to be and you don't know what to do, no matter how athletic you are, fast, strong, it doesn't really matter. You'll never play because you won't be in the right spot when your teammates need you to be there. And so it's instilled in the younger guys that if they want to get on the field early, which a lot of them do, and they have the athletic capabilities to help us out, and it's just how fast they can master the playbook that we have. So.
Do you feel the defense will be the strength of this team here in the early going? Because obviously the offense, they're trying to find out their situation at the quarterback spot, and there are some tweaks that are going to have to be made. But do you think the defense has to carry this team until all those questions are solved?
I wouldn't say carry, because we have some stuff to work out on our own end, learning a new playbook, getting used to new coaches, different guys, different positions. So I feel like it's a collective work in progress. But I feel like the defense is gelling well, as the offense is gelling well too. We're all just mastering new concepts and trying to come together and play well as a unit.
Well, the one question I've been waiting to ask you has nothing to do with football, but you are the grandson of Wendell Scott. NASCAR fans know that name probably quite well. He was the first African-American driver to win a race in the Grand National Series. Did you realize how famous and how important your grandfather was to NASCAR and for African Americans driving today?
Yes. My family made it very clear that my grandfather was not normal, and he did things that normal people don't really do. Build his own cars, be his own pit crew, travel alone, sometimes with only one or two people to races and stuff like that. So it was very apparent that they wanted us to know how special he really was and how much respect he got from people that admired how hard he worked to get to where he was.
Well, I think it's incredible that you understand the legacy and you want to continue that legacy. And I hope my grandson, he's 2 now, will say that his grandfather did things unusual too. A little strange. I hope he says
100%,
that.
100%.
Well, congratulations. We wish you the best of luck this season. We will continue our coverage of Conference USA Media Day. We'll turn our attention to Middle Tennessee when we come back.